longest running beer podcast in the Pacific Northwest. Why wouldn't they be listening to us?
So many different beers! I got you something really good and really delicious.
Oh my God.
You listen to the Brew Happy show, so do I. Do it.
It's not about the beer. It's about the beer.
Oh yeah, that's Brew Happy.
That's right. This is the Brew Happy Show weekly podcast. I'm the voice of beer, and this week we are at Function PDX in Northwest on 23rd Avenue in the Pearl District of Portland, Oregon. And with us, as usual, is the lovely and incomparable Green Goddess Botanic.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Bronwyn.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Yes,
Doing
and
good.
yeah, it's really good to have you.
Oh, thanks.
You light up the room.
Thank you.
And then, of course, we have a wonderful guest this week, and his name is Jeff Hoffman. Did I have that right?
Yep, that's me.
And
Hi,
he's
Jeff.
He's
Hello.
from FH Steinbart.
That's right. The oldest homebrew store in America.
In America?
Yeah.
America.
Established in 1918.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. We've talked about them.
That's monumentous.
Yeah, it is. It is monumentous. We'll do a prost
Yeah, I think we
for
do.
them right there.
Cheers.
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 FH Steinbart. Wow. Well, aren't we lucky to live just
Yeah.
right down the road?
Yep.
Yeah. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us this week. We have some awesome beers, and what do you think of the place? Have you been to Function PDX before?
I've been to the Northeast one
Okay.
before, but that's my first time stepping in here, and it's
Nice.
the vibe is awesome.
It is great.
I love it.
They got an upstairs, they got a downstairs, they got an out front, and they got an out back.
Yeah, 2 patios, 2 bars.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
What's not to like?
A bunch of beer too.
Yeah,
It's great.
And 2 tap rooms. They got the downstairs where I found you, and then the upstairs where we're sitting right now.
I really like the patio personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about out back, out front. What about Outer Range?
Oh,
That's the brewery that's here.
That is true. So one of the cool things about Function PDX is their concept is partnering with renowned breweries nationwide and transforming their entire space, both spaces, their Northeast tap room as well as their Northwest tap room, into the spirit of each brewery's hometown location. And they do this for an entire month. And then so they collaborate with some of the finest breweries in the country and contribute to the vibrant Oregon beer and beverage community from a refreshing perspective. Now, this month's theme seems to be more of a kind of a Midwest sort of thing. Last couple of I guess it was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
We were at the Northeast location, and we were talking about our mutual friend brewing company. And
Where are they based out of again?
they were out of
I think they're in California.
Denver.
Denver. Oh,
Denver. So we're doing the
Denver.
Midwest. Yep. So we're doing the Midwest. You're thinking of the month before.
Uh-huh.
So they were out of Denver off of Laramie Street, and that was a little brewery that started up in 2012. And then this week we have Outer Range, which they're out of the Colorado Rockies and the French Alps, and they are in Frisco, Colorado. And,
Yeah.
seems like a really skiing-themed brewery. Bronwyn, what did you find out about them?
Yeah, exactly that. That pretty much they focus on the real outdoorsy, ski-centered environments, as they have the tap room in the Rockies in Colorado, as well as the French Alps.
Yeah.
And stellar beer.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, there really is something about that fresh mountain water to create such crisp, delicious beer. We would know how important that is,
Absolutely.
especially at Steinbart, you guys know.
Yeah.
Now, we do have a few of their beers on the table in front of us. I took the liberty of taking a picture of the menu downstairs, as well as the menu up here, since they're both out of view. Now, I am actually drinking something from Pure Project, which was on the show last month. And I wanted something on the light scale, but not too hoppy. There was a lot of IPAs on the menu, and
So many IPAs. It
So
seems
many.
like Outer Range does quite a few IPAs.
yeah, and we'll dive into those later, or you guys probably have some of them as well. I'm doing the Citrus Blonde Ale by Pure Project. That's 5.1%. That's straw-colored glow, pretty hazy actually for a blonde. And definitely gives off orange notes. Very refreshing. Very citrusy. How about you guys?
I did the number 9, which was the
That first one.
oh yeah, the Colorado Cuckoo Hazy IPA.
Oh,
Cuckoo.
7.2%.
I'm cuckoo.
yeah. That's and that's from Outer Range. That's got
Yeah.
That's right.
lychee, pineapple, and cannabis.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
very nice, like golden, light golden, hazy.
Does it taste like cannabis?
It's got a cannabis note to
Like
it.
dank. Like
but
dank
it's,
and sticky.
It's dank and sticky,
Oh,
but like also a lot of tropical notes, lots
Okay.
of brightness to it. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's a little on the hazy side too.
Oh, it's
yeah.
hazy.
You can't see through that glass.
I was
at all.
gonna say
a
it
very
looks like
hazy
a,
IPA.
looks like a fresh glass of pulpy orange juice or something. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, let's get a picture of you with that. That's a very
Yeah.
yeah. Right on.
Check out our Instagram for that photo. I'm drinking the Alpen Pilsner, also by Outer Range, and it's delicious. About 4.8%.
Yeah. Floral, lychee, and pear. What do you think?
It's crisp and floral. I do get the floral. The juiciness, but it's just really well balanced. I'm not looking for something very hoppy. So this
Okay.
was exactly what I wanted.
Nice.
Super
Yeah.
crushable. Like I can imagine, I'm not a skier, but I can imagine just like crushing that. JP loved skiing, And so, just getting out there, doing that thing, and then crushing this beer. That's kind of the vibe of the brewery, I think.
Yeah, former top field reporter JP the Champion would definitely be into that beer. Now, just a little bit more about the menu we are witnessing here at Function PDX. There is hard seltzer from Unlimited Art. I can't talk for some reason. That's a hard seltzer with strawberry and kiwi. That's 5%. And then we have the Fizz from our mutual friend. That's the Pilsner at 4.7. The Tropical Mist, which I said I'm drinking, by Pure Project. Ariel's West Coast IPA by Outer Range Brewing. That's hopped with cashmere and mosaic. That's 6.5%. That's pretty good. In the Steep, hazy IPA by our Outer Range. That's grapefruit, tangerine, and apricot.
Ooh, I love the good stone fruit.
Or is it apricot? Some people say it the other way.
I think it's apricot.
I think so too.
Right?
People
Or
that
is that
say
just a
apricot
Northwest?
always make me think of like an orangutan running around with a basket of fruit. But that's a 6.7 beer. You got the Goat, which is a hazy IPA by
Just
Outer
a side
Range.
note, I really feel like there should be some good can art, like an ape running around with a basket of fruit.
Apricot.
We can just do a whole. There's a goat. There's apes.
We have
like
we do
that.
have kind of a animal theme going on here. We got the peach guava and white grape in the Goat. That's a 6.7. Loud Tap Room's hazy triple IPA by Outer Range. That's 10%, beer fans.
Wow.
That's-
That's like 3 beers.
Yeah, that's berry, dank, and citrus. Oh, yeah, that's 3 beers, all right. And then you have the Final Summit French Farmhouse Ale, also by Outer Range. That's 7%. That's a funky floral with notes of pear and citrus. And that's that's the downstairs draft. Now upstairs, we already talked about the Colorado Cuckoo that Jeff's having. The Alpen Pills by our mutual, Outer Range. That's a 4.8. That's Bronwyn's having that. The Pedestrianism by our mutual friend. That's a dark pub ale, malty, toasty, and toffee. I was thinking about having that.
Yes.
Yeah, that does sound
That
really
sounds
good.
so good. As the night cools off a little bit, it's a little bit cooler outside.
Yeah.
I love a dark beer to go with cold nights.
Yeah. And then they got the Gratitude 11 Saison at 5.9% by our mutual friend. Barrel fermented Saison with cherries, funky, cherry, spicy. That's a lot of cherry, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know what the it's strange that Gratitude 11 is number 12 on the tap list. But that's okay. And then they do have like wine here as well, and then they also have cocktails for those of you that are into that. And then they have can selections in the cooler as well.
Oh,
over
yeah.
there in
We
the,
found one of those we're promptly taking home with us.
Yes,
Nice.
yes, yeah. They have a beer cave up here as well. So, and then they have non-alcoholic stuff for the teetotalers in your group of friends. The hop water, soda, seltzer, non-alcoholic beer, and CBD beverages as well. So, they got flights of 6 and mixed 4-packs. That you guys can bring home when you come in and want to leave with a little taste of something, for later. It's a really great way to top off the night or plan for the weekend ahead, guys. I think that's a good pitch. What do you think? That was good.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey,
Yes.
thanks, guys.
Well done.
I think that we have a
Very
lot
good,
of
very good.
these kind of brands popping up. A lot of brands that are, expressing like, get out there, get out the outdoor, out the outdoors, go hiking, go skiing, go floating, and bring this beer along with you.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. Their graphics, their marketing is really beautiful on their website. A lot of really seemingly like daredevil-y type behavior.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of daredevils, these guys are daring to do lots of cool things. They dare to make an impact in the community where they're at. They participate in the Summit Foundation, and the brewery actually pays their employees for their volunteer hours when they go and participate in that. And so they do. They have special initiatives and community events and ways that they help, keep the mountain clean and give back to the community. So that's always really nice to see. And Outer Range is all about that. They're a proud member of the 1% Pledge community, which is a global movement for corporate impact. They want to inspire, educate, and empower every company to leverage their unique assets for good. And, we're all about that. So let's do a prost to making change
truly.
Absolutely.
in the environment.
It
Cheers to
says that
that.
their tap rooms serve as an escape from the hustle of daily life, where friends and family can return to nature and create meaningful memories. So, that sounds amazing to be able to provide an environment like that in these communities and then give back to the community.
Yeah, thanks, Outer Range Brewing. Yeah, so we got some Colorado love going on over here. So, if you live over here in the Pacific Northwest and you don't make it to the Midwest all that often, this is a really unique opportunity to experience a little bit of what that demographic over there has to offer. We used to go to Great American Beer Festival all the time, so we have had the benefit of visiting Colorado, especially the Denver area, and I highly recommend it as a traveler and somebody who loves going and trying things in different places. You got to get out there and experience new things. But if you can't do that, you can come down to Function PDX, either of their locations, and have a little taste of what's going on in the Midwest. yeah, I think we're going to talk a little bit with our guest, Jeff, and FH Steinbart after some messages from our friends in the beer industry. We're going to do a little break. And before we do that, I do want to thank our listeners so much for tuning in wherever podcasts are found. That is where we're available. If you want to help sponsor the show, you can reach out to us on patreon.com/Brew Happy. And for as little as $1, you can help us pay the bar tab. And if you want to do the $5 range, that's really great. We interact with you a little more, send you postcards, stickers, things from our adventures in the Brewiverse. And yeah, it really does go a long way towards helping keep those hosting fees at bay so we can stay on Libsyn and bring you more wonderful content. And leave us reviews, comments, 5-star reviews would be very helpful. And please share with a friend, anybody who you know that drinks beer and would like to hear more about beer and where to get more beer. That's what we are all about. So I think without further ado, we're going to take a little break and we're going to talk a little more about home brewing. This is going to be a home brewing episode, and we're going to be right back with Jeff Hoffman and FH Steinbart. Cheers.
I'm Chelsea with Function PDX, and you're listening to the Brew Happy Show.
Beer mongers. Where in this urban jungle can I find a decent craft beer?
Look, what's that off in the distance?
Distance? What distance? We're so conveniently located at Southeast 11th Avenue.
Beer mongers, bottle shop and tap room. Oh no, what's that?
Don't worry, that's just Damien rooting around in our extensive selection.
So many different beers!
Beer mongers, bottle shop and tap room.
For more information, visit thebeermongers.com or check out our social media.
Hey y'all, it's Jeff from FH Steinbart Company, and you're listening to the Brew Happy Show.
And we're back. We are back. We are loving our time here at Function PDX. And we have Jeff Hoffman from FH Steinbart here. And that is one of the oldest homebrew supply shops in the country, maybe even the world. Jeff, thanks so much again for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So obviously, Function PDX is a big win. You like the Northeast location. We like both locations, obviously. Northeast is actually closer for us.
Oh, nice.
I bet you actually get to make contact with a lot of different vendors and different businesses in the brewing community, not just tap rooms, but people that are setting up tap rooms. I know go to FH Steinbart for help and for supplies when they need to install their draft lines.
Yeah, that's right.
And I know Perfect Pour recently got involved.
That's right.
And they have been doing a great job keeping draft lines clean in the Portland area for, I don't know, probably close to 10 years at least.
At least.
If not more.
I think he started in 2008, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And another funny thing is that I actually worked for James at Perfect Pour.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Whoa.
From 2015 to when the pandemic hit, basically.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
A lot of restaurants and bars obviously shut down during that time.
Yes.
So without people to come clean taps or people to drink the beer that's on tap, then it's kind of hard to, for restaurants and people in that industry to kind of keep going.
Right. Right. But
we saw a lot of that over the years.
Yeah, but there was a lot of pivoting towards packaging beer. I actually had moved from cleaning draft lines for a smaller competing company to delivering beer for some places that my friends owned out in Beaverton.
The place you used to clean the drafts at?
No, that I delivered beer for. Oh my God! Uptown Beer Company.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there you go.
Where did my memory go?
I was thinking in my head, I'm like binary brewing.
Yeah,
well, that's what I was
I'm
thinking
like,
of too. But I'm like,
name?
but they
binary, right?
They did brew out of there for a minute. They did have kind of a union, and they have a great relationship. Those two businesses together. I also, I was thinking binary brewing, but I'm like, that's not the place. It's kind of the place. It's the same building. But yeah, Uptown Market was, or now they're Uptown Beer Company, was delivering beer, and a lot of other places started shifting towards packaged beer, and they were doing crowlers and more growlers and bottle delivery and can delivery service. And so there was quite an uptick in that. And then when COVID ended, people were really happy to get back out to the bars.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure things probably blew up for you guys on the Perfect Pour end. But during the pandemic, I know a lot of people really got into doing home brews.
That's right. Yeah, there was definitely in 2020 there was a big, or I guess 2021. A lot of action happening there. I got hired at Steinbart's. I've been shopping there for since I started homebrewing back in 2013.
Me too. That's how I know those guys.
Yeah, totally. And I just happened to be getting back into brewing, homebrewing again, because I've always brewed with a partner. So my brother was...
It's more fun with more people.
Oh, yeah. And
you got to have
less
somebody
work.
help you drink the beer.
Yeah, and less work, for sure. Yeah. So my brother was like, oh, hey, let's get back into it. And I said, okay, yeah, let's go to Steinbart's. And they had a for hire sign in the window. And I was like, hey, what do you think? And... that was 3.5 years ago now. So yeah.
And you're still at it.
I'm still there. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I love it.
And now you sell the equipment. Tell us a little bit about your experiences. Working there.
Totally. I kind of work all over the place there. There, like you said, there's the commercial side to it where. We sell draft lines and parts and towers and all the stuff that you need to not only build your own home kegerator, but if you're a business or you're looking to start something, then you can come to us and we'll help you like diagram stuff. We'll help you really kind of set up and let you know what you need to kind of get going.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I helped a brewery over in Southeast convert it was like a small. Well, I mean, it kind of looked like a kegerator, but it just didn't have the towers on it. I think
cool.
it'd been a food prep station.
Oh, sure.
And so they wanted to convert it into, a kegerator. And I relied on Steinbart to get my parts, and you guys helped me get the right measurements and know which bit to use for that. So that, I mean, because I had mostly wood stuff. I totally had the wrong bit.
Yeah.
It was the right size, but it would have just chewed up the bit.
Yeah,
because stainless steel doesn't
was,
like wood bits.
Yeah, right.
So I had to go to the store and.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime I'm about to tackle a project, depending on like how comfortable I feel around it, I will always go seek expertise from somebody who knows what they're talking about. You know, even in my own small business, I like to talk to other small businesses that do what I do. It's such a small niche thing. So it's such a great tight-knit community of people. And that's what FH Steinbart can provide. It's like if you want to step into that homebrewing world, you're really interested in it, that is who you go talk to. Yeah. First and foremost.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's what you get when you go to like a local store, you know. Even if you're not in Portland, you know, we have an online store, and like call us anytime that we're open and we can be as helpful as we can over the phone, you know.
Right.
But no, it's a very much like community driven. I mean, like any of the beer industry, I feel like it's very community driven, and I feel like it's you want to start small and then go bigger, and that's where Steinbart's is like we're kind of a stepping stone, like on your first steps to doing your own thing if you want.
To brewery greatness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really great to know that you guys are out there, and you don't just help out with beer. You guys have presses for people who want to make cider and do fruit or wine. You guys have kits for making mead.
Yeah, that's right.
And doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, honestly, the mead game is like...
There's been an uptick lately.
It's really upticking. I've seen a lot, and that's a lot of like... I wouldn't say novices or like... I mean, beginners, I guess, are really like... That's where they're wanting to get into, is starting to make mead, and... it's really, really easy.
Yeah.
It's really easy. All you need is honey and some
yeast?
Yeah, some yeast and some water, and you're
There
good
you
to go.
Yeah.
And, you know, some sanitizing stuff, but
totally. Cleanliness is next to godliness when it comes to any kind of brew
Absolutely.
that you're making, and that's really like 90% of the
that
challenge
is,
right there.
That is truly 90%
cleaning, and then the 10% of the making.
Yeah, exactly. And well, it's like 5% making and 5% patience.
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah. There's always that. So you got to play the waiting game.
Yeah, for sure.
No sticking your dirty fingers in the brew to taste it along the way like you do in the kitchen.
No, exactly.
You just got to let it be.
You know, you can pour it into a sample glass, and that's fine. Just don't pour it back into it.
Right,
you know?
right.
So,
No mixing.
Exactly.
No double dipping.
Yeah.
So it's really a whole lot of fun. It's a great hobby to have, and that's the kind of hobby that has grown into entire businesses and entire empires in some cases. So I mean, some of the best breweries have been birthed from visits to FH Steinbart.
Yeah, totally.
You know, I think Upright started that way. Upright turned out really great brewers like Ben Edmonds from Breakside.
That's right.
And a lot of other great talent. So I mean, it's really, when you think about it, getting into the homebrew game and being able to rely on trusted local knowledge like FH Steinbart. It's like the rock here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And now you guys have an online website, so
Yeah.
people can get a hold of you from anywhere in the country.
Yeah, that's true. It's we just revamped it like a couple weeks ago. It's looking so fresh. It's looking so nice.
Yeah, and that's something that Mark Gillette was pushing for a while, was to get you guys an online presence. And last time I heard he was on the show, he was saying it's been going really great. You guys get orders like gangbusters.
Yeah.
It's sometimes hard to keep up with.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, we have like such a really tight-knit crew there too that it's sometimes when, well, especially during the harvest time season where like, you know, people are coming in ciders and
that's coming up.
Yeah, it is. You know, we get really nice and busy, and when the online orders come in too, it's just like, oh, everyone's kind of just running around all day, and you know, it's embracing chaos is how I love to. I love working there because of that. You know, so.
Yeah, making a sense of the madness.
Exactly. Yeah.
So one of my favorite things when I go to Steinbart and I'm working on a homebrew. I mean, it's been a while since I've done that, to be honest. But my favorite part of that was always going in and doing the grain build. I could go there and grind. I'd pick out the grain and then I'd do the grind there myself because I don't have a grinder at home. Most people don't.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really important part of it is breaking down you don't want it to be too fine and you don't want it to be too rough.
Right.
So getting even just that part right is actually pretty important. And so I had a lot of guidance from you folks when I was making some of my first beers.
Yeah, cool.
And you know, knock on wood, I have still never made a bad beer.
Hey, there we go.
So
that's more than I could say.
Yeah, we'll do a pro spell for that.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, cheers to that.
Yeah. So thanks, Steinbart. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that every beer has come out perfect. Actually, most of my beers come out to be a completely different beer than the one that I planned on making. But they're all drinkable.
Hey, you know what? That's when marketing comes into play, okay?
Yeah, you just pivot.
Yeah.
You just pivot, you call it something else, and people will be like, oh, wow, that's it.
It's a hazy amber.
Yeah.
I went from I was starting to make a porter, but now it's a hazy amber.
Unfiltered.
Okay,
there we go.
But you know what? It sounds to me like if you're a home brewer and you make a misstep like that and you want to try again, it sounds like you could take the information from your experience to Steinbart and be like, hey, this is what happened. I don't know what happened. Can you help me try to figure out what happened? I bet you they could help you narrow down like what the issues are and then how to do it better next time.
Yeah, every time. And it's not like one of those, going down there with my hat in my hand, with my head hanging low, feeling bad. It's always just a nice.
Shame.
There's no shame though. There isn't. I go in there and it's just like, oh yeah, let me tell you, that's just that's par for the course. You know, when you're home brewing beer, you know, and then they'll throw back some of their worst brews experiences with me,
right
and it'll just be a nice big laughing fun time, and then I walk out of there with some more stuff on my way to do another brew. It's it's a lot of fun.
I mean, I do have to say there's something about becoming an expert that requires experience and failures and trips and whoops and oops and learning.
So
you can go to them and be like, oh my god, this happened, and they can be like, I did the same thing one time. Like everybody can relate.
Yeah, well, there isn't a single brewer or any kind of professional out there that hasn't failed a bunch of times or made a bunch of mistakes or made a bunch of mistakes.
It's the requirement to becoming an expert because without those things, you wouldn't know how to handle what happens during the misstep.
Yeah. You know, not everybody comes out of the gate like
nobody does.
You know, like Michael Jordan. You know, even somebody that talented has probably tripped on his shoelaces from time to time. You know,
let's hope so.
Well, I'm not gonna ask the guy.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so
I don't know. I feel like any man that's been in a movie with Bugs Bunny pretty much can do nothing wrong.
Oh, that's actually pretty
true
cool.
facts.
Yeah. Space jam,
life
baby.
Dreams. I wonder what kind of a beer Bugs Bunny would drink if he drank beer.
Carrot flavored?
Carrot mead.
Oh, there you go.
I would drink a carrot mead.
Yeah.
That actually sounds really delicious.
Okay, so I didn't even know carrot mead was actually a thing. What? Tell me a
Wait,
little bit about that.
I think we're just joking, or is
so,
it real?
Well, there's honey that's made from carrot flowers.
What?
Yeah, that you can buy at Steinbart's.
What?
Yeah, if you wanted to. When you ferment that, though, the carrot flavors don't really follow through. It's really more about how the sugars convert, But
I thought carrot flour was just a random item you collect in Fallout.
yes, that too.
Oh, okay.
I love that.
I don't even know what you do with it in Fallout. You're supposed to brew something with it.
Yeah, I guess so. So
Give it to the drinking buddy.
Yeah, there
at
you
the
go.
At the old Rexford Hotel.
Oh,
Give it to your drinking buddy.
You've been paying attention.
Of course I have.
Nice.
I'm a huge fan.
Okay, so carrot flour and mead.
Yeah.
Tell us some other really cool things that people can make when they shop at Steinbart.
Well, there's been a couple of interesting customers that have caught my eye that have wanted to do a Mountain Dew mead.
What?
Yeah, which is
I'm afraid to learn about this.
Right? Yeah. So I was helping them out, and they were telling me, we want to get real nuts. We're
gonna
real
get
nuts.
funky.
Yeah, we're getting nuts with this. Follow us.
Okay.
I was like, okay, so Mountain Dew mead. What do you think? Okay, I guess so, but the Mountain Dew is not gonna come through, because you're fermenting the sugars from said product, and even though those flavors will maybe come through a little bit, you're basically it's a lot of that sugar flavor is what's in Mountain Dew or soda drinks or something like that, right? So,
but you might be able to, how would you do that? Would you break down the flavor profile of Mountain Dew and maybe try to find
you could
things
do that.
in beer that you could try?
Are there what even hops would you use for that?
Well, what my thought was going with is that, okay, what if you added a pound of honey to that? What kind of alcohol percentage are you looking for? Are you looking for more of a wine, or are you looking for more of a beer ABV? And they were like, well, maybe somewhere in between.
Right.
So okay, why don't you throw a pound of honey in there, and then not only do you have the sugars from the soda, but you also have these other stronger, make sure that the yeast can break down these particular sugars in the mead and the honey, and you'll probably end up with 10 to 12% like wine, maybe, or something like that.
My eyes got real big when I heard 10 to 12%. That
I mean,
stuff is gonna knock you off
if
your
you're,
feet.
all you got to do. So they were gonna start with a 1 gallon kind of sample. So you fill that up with as much Mountain Dew as you want, with a pound of honey or so, and whatever water kind of to fill out the rest of it.
Okay.
And you put some yeast nutrient and some yeast in there, and you let it go for a couple weeks. Take your hydrometer reading.
Right.
Very, very important to do that. And something like that. I mean,
What an experiment.
yeah, that's what homebrewing's all about. Is
Yeah.
Experimenting.
Literally chemistry with beer. Fun with chemistry sets.
Yeah, so that was probably the wildest thing that has happened in the at least customer wise in the last year for me, is okay, Mountain Dew wine mead, okay, okay.
It's making me want to go try a Mountain Dew because I don't think I've had one in such a long time. I'm having trouble. It's like melon and lemon and ginger. Well, no, not ginger.
It's like lemon lime.
Lemon lime.
But
not Sprite.
Yeah, but not Sprite.
But more melony than Sprite? I don't know. I got to go get one, I think. I'm just curious.
Yeah. So, Yeah, but I mean, besides that, we do a lot of other, just like a lot of common stuff too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like a Dr. Pepper brew that you could make.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Yeah, I bet.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think that could be a thing, right?
Well, because wait, do you sell ingredients to brew soda?
Oh
at
yeah.
Steinbart?
Oh yeah, we do.
So you could
yeah,
just
yeah.
you don't even have to go the whole alcohol range. You can just brew your own soda.
Yeah, we've got
that's what your
soda
jam is.
extracts, and then we've also got like hop extracts too. So if you're interested in making your own hop water,
Oh, yum.
yeah,
Or like a hoppy soda. Like very
yeah,
interesting.
totally,
Very
yeah, for
interesting.
sure, yeah.
Now, how does one make a non-alcoholic beer?
It's
How do you keep it? Because
Yeah.
it goes in there. You make the wort out
Yeah.
of the grain, and then you put the yeast in, and then the yeast turns over time turns into alcohol and CO2.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's the byproduct of the yeast eating the sugars.
Right.
So basically, a non-alcoholic beer would be cutting off the yeast before, or just putting in less yeast, or cutting off the yeast before
cutting
it
off.
gets going.
Yeah, cutting off the yeast is one of the ways to do it.
Okay.
It's kind of a new thing to the homebrewing world because the big breweries are able to do like a reverse osmosis in their water system. I'm not really sure entirely how it works on the bigger scale, but they're able to do it a lot easier than homebrewers are. So there's a couple schools of thought. Zymergy magazine came out with a really good article. I believe it was like last summer. That was a lot of established homebrewers and other commercial brewers giving their 2 cents, which is amazing article. You should check that out. But overall, they're mostly saying that there's a couple of ways. Basically lowering your pH level is one of the ways to do it. So you still have you're basically cutting your grains, you're cutting your ingredients by a half to 3/4.
Okay.
And then you're lowering that pH level so it becomes more self-stable.
Okay.
And then you're basically coming out with an original gravity that's like 1022 or 1024.
Interesting.
So really, really low.
Okay.
And then you're letting the yeast basically finish at 1012, 1214, something like that.
What would it be normally?
Your typical 5% beer, it's around 1054, and then finishing at 1010, something like that.
So that's a contrast.
Yeah. So that process usually yields you 1.9 to 2.2% ABV, which there is still alcohol in it, but it is low ABV, so technically in commercial terms is non-alcoholic.
Okay, gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that like a percentage that would be the alcohol content in like kombucha? Do you guys do kombucha brewing?
We do kombucha as well. For the alcoholic stuff, you can get it up higher than that, but if you're just looking at your normal kombucha brewing, I would say it's even less than that.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So-
Now a non-alcoholic beer or a beer with that low ABV is called Kinderbier in Germany.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
they
I bet.
actually give it to children in the hospital to keep them healthy.
Yeah. Sure. I mean,
It was a trivia.
that's awesome.
It was a trivia thing back when I was doing brewery tours.
Oh, cool.
You're like, I will never forget.
I will never forget that one. Yeah, I always used to blow people away with that one. I was like, this is a verifiable fact. And actually, I had a German guy in my tour group one time, and he's like, yeah, I had beer when I was in hospital as a child. Yes.
That's the best IV I've heard of.
Yeah, I was like, wow, yeah. I was like, yeah. I asked him, I was like, they inject that into your arm? He's like, no, they give you a little cup. Yeah. But so awesome. So lots of fun things can be made when you go on a trip to the store at FH Steinbart, or just shop online at your website. So Yeah, that's pretty awesome, Jeff. You really seem to know your stuff. Now, how many homebrews have you made?
Oh, I've lost count.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to make?
Ooh, I've got a couple staple recipes that I go to.
Okay.
I think the number one that I have is my jalapeno chocolate stout.
What?
That I brew for...
Jaws dropping over
Yeah,
here.
That sounds so good.
It's amazing. And I usually brew it for, like, the holidays. And it's, it's like toasted malts, really, it's like a 7%, 6 to 7% stout, so it's not over the top or anything.
It's big, but it's not too big.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Kind of a normal chocolate stout that me and my brother do, and then in the fermentation process, you have your primary, which is typically the first 5 days of fermenting, and then you kind of have the secondary ferment, which is, day 6 or 7 to day 10 to 12, depending on the style and yeast that you use. But we just cut up about half a dozen to like 8.
I was gonna ask how many is required.
I mean, it depends on how spicy you want it, on how much you want, how much your volume that you're using.
Yeah.
But
That can be unpredictable because some peppers are spicier than others.
Yep,
even from the same plant.
Absolutely.
And
so
then do
You
you
can't
have
tell.
to, is there like a certain way you have to chop the pepper in order for it to be best in the beer? Or do you just throw them in like halfsies?
What we do is we cut them right down the middle in half and then throw them right in.
With the seeds and everything?
Oh,
Whoa!
yeah.
Seeds are gonna make
Yeah.
it really spicy.
Yeah, well, so you taste the
yeah.
peppers first,
That sounds
right?
amazing.
Just to gauge what the spiciness level is.
Oh my
But
God.
that's kind of that's the nice thing about homebrew is that you can do stuff like that in a brewery. You're not gonna find that.
No.
The downside with keeping the seeds in is that the oils from the seeds are going to kill any kind of head that you're going to like retain when you pour.
Very low head retention.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, which for some people, for
some
me,
people that matters.
Yeah, but
You
for
want
me,
to, it's really optics at that point.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, if you're just going for flavor,
yeah,
it's not really that big of a thing.
Yeah, and so it's we've got it dialed down to where the last brew that we had was just like it. I landed it it was one of my best brews, and I want to pat myself on the back here real quick, but just that. Yeah, exactly.
That's money, baby.
The spices came in like at the back of your tongue there, and it was just like like chocolate stout first, and then you got that spice level that kicks in.
Oh, right at the finish.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it was
So
amazing.
good.
Yeah. So.
Can I ask, like, so I'm just obsessed with food.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what kind of food do you like to eat with your beer?
Oh, I mean, I like anything. I like
All the
everything.
things?
Yeah, I like anything that's not olives and not mushrooms. I can kind of do, but olives are no go. So
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah,
I like the
excellent.
green
Okay.
Castellano. Yeah, I like the green ones.
Olives. I love olives.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I like them on a
Huge fan of
sandwich. I like them, in a pasta. I like them on a pizza. Not necessarily. I don't think I need them in a beer.
But what you're saying is essentially you can eat anything with a jalapeno chocolate stout.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Well, with
That's a
that
good pairing.
beer, like you want your like nice like steak, your red meats, or like your very like decadent, or grilled meats. Even like a portobello would be amazing with that. I feel like.
Portobello.
Yeah. So.
I'm thinking of like some like carnitas tacos to bring
yeah,
out that
yeah,
guacamole,
yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that avocado a little bit,
Oh
that
man,
jalapeno.
you're talking my language here.
Yeah, a little bit
Yum.
of sour cream to cool that off.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Well, this has been quite the education.
Well, that's the thing is when you're home brewing, you can take your wildest dreams and
Yeah.
turn them into reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
absolutely.
and it's not going to cost you too much. Just a trip to FH Steinbart and about 3 hours of your time during the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, what were you going to do with your day anyway? Just sit on the couch and play Fallout? You can do that while you wait for your beer to brew.
It's
Absolutely.
like someone is speaking from experience or something. I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Well, gosh, Jeff, thanks so much. You've been a ton of fun to have on the show.
Thanks.
What?
I'm so sorry. I don't want to interrupt your.
Go ahead.
But I don't know if I went to the bathroom at the time you guys were talking about this, but I've got to know about the taps that are on tap at FH Steinbart.
Oh, that's right.
Can we talk about that?
Mark said you guys have beer
yeah,
now.
we
'Cause
have
that's
beer
like a
on
new thing,
tap.
right?
Yes, it is new.
And that's where we were talking about the perfect pour thing.
Yes.
Because is that the collab there? Perfect Pour and FH Steinbart are doing the
Yeah,
taps.
yeah. Well, when James came into the ownership here, he was like, I have these like visions of like bringing community to FH Steinbart, which has always been his thing, even when he started Perfect Pour.
Yeah.
Is community and making sure that he's delivering the best product to the people that are in the area with the best knowledge that
I think that's
he
a
can
great
get,
idea, too,
You know, so he was like, well, if we're gonna be brewing here at the store, or if we're gonna be inviting people to brew, which we are doing brew demos. If you're a home brewer and want to join,
brew
Heck
demos.
yeah.
hit us up, info@fhsteinbart.com. We're looking for people kind of later into the August times and stuff like that. If you want to brew at the store.
But now's a good time to sign up.
Yeah, exactly. So, and your beer will be showcased on our kegerator taps.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Gosh.
we have 4 taps that is going to be constantly rotating through different people's home brews. And including the shop's homebrew as well.
Yeah.
Right now we've got a dry Irish stout.
Ooh.
That's Damien's MO.
I do love that.
Oh yeah, come in and try it because it's top notch. We have a classic German Kolsch recipe that is also our homebrew recipe kit of the month. I brewed that. It turned out really nicely, if I don't say so myself. But and then the third one that we have on right now is a blood orange wit beer.
Oh, you had me at blood orange.
A wit.
Yeah, so it's
What a great selection.
Yeah.
And all of them were brewed at the shop.
Yep, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah, so that last one was from one of the Oregon Brew crew members that did his brew demo.
Nice.
This last month. So
Right on. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, that sounds like thank you
you.
for mentioning
Well,
that,
I've been
Bronwyn. That
just,
was
like,
a really great
I don't know.
opportunity
I think
to
we
get
saw
into.
Mark at Beer Mongers
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
And he was talking about this, and I was like, wait a minute, there's beer you can drink there now?
Oh yeah.
And so we've been talking about
a
it very
thing.
excitedly
Yeah.
ever since you mentioned
When's
that.
the bar open?
It's a sample bar, so yeah, But when we're open from 8 to 6:30 Monday through Saturday,
okay.
so
It gives a whole new meaning to sip and shop.
yeah. Hey, there
right?
you go.
You can
Seriously.
you can have a little tasting cup. You can browse the malts
okay.
and
Yeah.
the
Okay.
yeasts and all the tools.
And even if you're NA, we have like soda water on tap. We also have a cold brew and a nitro cold brew as well.
That's
so,
great.
That's
yeah.
a really high-end shopping experience, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that when you're on 23rd and you go into like the leather goods store, they're like, "Would you like something to drink?" And you're like, "Oh, certainly."
sure.
That's kind of fancy for FH Steinbart to do something like that. That's pretty cool.
Oh
yeah.
Damien, I need more beer.
I guess we are kind of getting low on our cups.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to need some more beer here, but I think we're going to have to do that after the show, beer fans. And if you want to know more about FH Steinbart, they can go to y'all's website, which is
FHSteinbart.com.
Yeah, and that's STEIN.
That's right.
Okay.
BART.
Okay, right on. Well, I think that's a show, guys. Jeff, thanks so much again.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Jeff Hoffman. Beer fans, if you want to get your brew on, you can totally learn how to do that through FHSteinbart.com or just go into their store, which is located
Southeast 12th and Pine.
Right on. It's a really great store, and it's a wonderful local business that you guys should definitely be supporting. Jeff, thanks so much again.
Thanks for having me.
And we'd love to do this like a monthly kind of homebrew update.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
If you're all right with that. That's kind of what
absolutely.
I had in mind with Mark, but he's got a whole store to run, so he can't make it down here all the time. So.
Maybe we could even go to the store sometime.
Oh,
We've done that once or twice.
Yeah, come over. We have a big warehouse that we
That's
can
true.
set up in.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And if you don't have tables, I have tables I can bring.
So many tables.
So many tables.
Don't worry about
All
it.
the different tables.
All right. Well, I mean, since you have beer.
That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be a lot more fun than last time. Yeah,
that sounds great.
Your place or mine. It's your place.
Bring your own glass. How about that, though?
All right. We can do that.
Yeah, baby. Damien's like, you can just pour it right into my mouth.
Oh.
From the tap, I'll just take the beer.
Yeah, like the Gremlins in the bar scene. Just slides right underneath there. He's just pouring the beer.
That's
in
me
his mouth.
after work every day. No, I'm just kidding.
Goals.
Yeah.
That little gremlin's my spirit animal.
Oh, well, all right, beer fans. I think that's a show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Jeff, thanks so much for being a part of the show with us.
Absolutely.
This is a show at Function PDX, and our Outer Range Brewing beer that we have from Colorado. It's been really delicious and really a lot of fun. So please check out FH Steinbart and check out Function PDX and check out Outer Range Brewing. I don't just like you, beer fans. I want to have a beer with you. And until next week, keep brewing, but brew happy. Cheers.
This production is brought to you by Brew Happy Media, the ultimate brewers media resource. For more information, go to thebrewhappyshow.com and brewhappypodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Brew Happy. For more cigar pairings, please check out our sponsor, paulcigars.net. Questions, concerns, advertising, or guest relations, please reach us at brewhappypdx@gmail.com. Remember, brew happy, drink responsibly. Cheers.
Yeah.
Everywhere. They're a Southern California brand. They opened up where Chuck and
Damien, I need more beer.
Warehousey building. Over by where the new Beer Mongers location is. Right. Just like a couple blocks from that.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I guess they opened within the last week or two.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that next time.
I think so. We'll have to.
What a great radio voice!
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely. You said you've done audio before.
Yeah, I went to school for audio engineering back in the day. Yeah.
Dude.
I've been all over.
You should definitely be a regular part of the show.
Yeah, I would love to, guys.